Okay, I think we're live. Hi, and welcome to our July product update here at GraphCMS. I'm Emily, I'm the content marketing manager here, and today we have a couple of new faces joining our product live stream. So I'll go ahead and let Jonas introduce himself first, and then Larissa, if you want to go after him.
Yeah, so hey everyone, I'm Jonas. I'm a backend developer at GraphCMS, and a fun fact about me is that I actually am the first employee joining GraphCMS. So yeah, I've been here since the beginning, and welcome everyone.
Yeah,
I will pass it on to Larissa.
welcome Jonas. And Larissa?
Yeah, excited to be here. First of all, my name is Larissa. I work on the front end team. I did not join as one of the first employees, but I'm kind of a recent hire, I would say. We've been working since September, and it's been a very exciting journey so far. And I'm also very happy to be here to present the work that I've been doing this past month. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Scott, by now you're well known, but if you want to go
Thank you.
ahead and if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, that'd be awesome.
Okay, sure. Hi, I'm Scott. I've also recently started with GraphCMS since April, and I'm a developer advocate with the rest of the team. And I'll be talking about some cool stuff which we've been working on this month.
Yeah, awesome. I'm happy to have a bunch of developers here. I mean, a lot of these features are super developer focused, and so I'm pumped that we have some insider insights. So, all right, we can go ahead and kick it off. Jonas, maybe if you want to start with what you've been working on, that'd be awesome.
Yep. So the past months and even going back a bit more, we have been working on improving the permission system, especially the permission system that is used on the content API side of GraphCMS, and this new, more granular permission system for content access has a lot of cool features and allows a lot of cool new use cases. Especially it applies to custom roles if you have custom roles in your plan, and then permanent auth tokens and public access. And it will basically allow you to set more finer grained permissions on all of those different ways to access your content API. This allows many new use cases that weren't possible before, and is also a foundation for us on the developer side to actually build much more cool features that will come in the future. And the main features are basically that the custom roles you can add now content permissions to that define in a granular fashion what content can be read or write on the content API. Specifically, you can set up the permissions to be applied only to one model instead of all. Before you could only kind of set up, okay, we allow access on the content API for read or not. Now we can say which models you are allowed to read, for which stages specifically. So you could allow, for example, draft access for one model, but publish access for another model. There's also the possibility, I talked about this briefly a bit, to set up permissions on a per action basis. So you can say, okay, I want to allow creates but no deletes, because deletes should be done by a different editor on the team or by a different role rather. Or you maybe don't want to give some automated system via a permanent auth token full permissions to your system, but maybe only to clean up and only delete content, but not create new ones or not publish data, so it doesn't show up in your published graph of the API. And we are also working on bringing the same granularity to locales. This is kind of in an early stage right now. You can do it on read, so you can define you only can read on a certain local, but on write we are still working on. But this will hopefully land fairly soon.
This is super cool, Jonas. I'm so excited about this. I think, if you think about it in a practical way, you have a bunch of different people working on a team, and you'll maybe have someone who's a little bit more junior that should be able to create content within the CMS and be able to edit that content, but shouldn't be able to publish it immediately to your website. And so now with these permissions, it's possible to do that right within the CMS. You don't have to worry about building something extra on or just promising that person not to press the publish button. And so it really gives a lot more kind of security for users as well, of making sure that their permissions are set in stone a little bit more. So super cool.
Definitely. And one thing to keep in mind is that this mostly is now kind of on a content API level for now. So we basically enforce the access kind of security first, and we are heavily working on bringing all of those capabilities also into the UI, so that if you don't have publish rights, we also in the future will hide the publish capabilities. For now, they might still be kind of accessible, but the system on the security side of things will definitely block it if you don't allow access. And that was the important thing for us in the beginning, is make it security first, and then we can later clean it up, and on the front end side kind of hide the buttons as well. So let us know if there's also something that you specifically like want to see on the UI side of things, or also on the backend side of things. Always have a couple of more points. There's one big thing I haven't talked about that this allows us now, is we have conditions also in those granular permissions. So this allows us to apply a permission basically only on certain entries of a single model. So we could say, okay, we want to allow access, read access, for example, for the public data only if some condition on the data is actually met. So this allows for total flexibility, and you can add, for example, a checkbox that says should be accessible by my front end, and then you set that flag on your content, and suddenly only then it becomes available to a token or to the public API. But this is also possible to do for users, so you could kind of split up your users by certain properties, and this is like a foundational work that we will use for a lot of powerful things in the future. For now, you can still use it for really awesome things, and kind of split up your data in multiple ways that you want to query, maybe by different actors on a system. But it will also be a really nice foundation for future work that is kind of already going on, and we hopefully can show you maybe next time or in the future. And yeah, I also want to talk a bit about the experience building this. It was some really, really hard feature. We have been building this for a long time. It was a really long process. One kind of behind the scenes information is that we actually replaced the whole kind of permission system a while back in December. I think it was like a couple of months back even, and let it run kind of from the user perspective, it was the same interaction that you could set. So it was using already the new granular system under the hood, but we only allowed to set the old non-granular actions, so that we could make sure that actually the foundation is solid. And now we released basically the full capabilities to the users, that users can actually set up all the granular things that were actually there since December, now actually can use them and harness the power that we built in.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys have definitely been working really hard on this feature, and you can definitely tell. I mean, it's a huge feature. It's been something that we've had in our minds for a long time here at GraphCMS, and to finally see at least the very first iteration of it is awesome. And we're looking forward to seeing more of it as we, get feedback from our users and all of that kind of stuff. That being said, if you want to give us feedback, if you have an idea of something that you would like to see that within the UI or something like that, feel free just to drop that in our community Slack, in the feedback channel. We always have people hanging out there, and they'll be able to make sure that feedback gets right to our development teams.
There's a comment on YouTube asking if dark mode's coming. This is like the de facto feature of any website. Is it has to have dark mode.
Yeah, I think we all would like to add that. It's on the list, I would say, but maybe not on the highest priority for now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, Jonas. That's awesome. Larissa, maybe you'd like to share a little bit about what you've been working on last month?
Yeah, I'd like to start with saying that I incidentally also worked on content-based permissions. So for me, I was implementing the UI, and for me to see it live, it's pretty awesome because it also took quite a lot of brain power on our side.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's great to see it live. And so now to rich text improvements, we've been working on rich text for the past 3 weeks or so. And I think I'd like to start with the copy pasting support because that's kind of what took the bulk of work, I would say. So, when you think about rich text, it's a very nice feature to have. And I am a person who has used various CMSs in my life, and rich text was always, for me, the kind of field that I would use the most. And now I'm kind of on the other side of things, and I see that it's very complicated, especially when
Yeah.
you're copying from other systems. Yeah, it turns out everybody treats their rich text however they like. And so when you need to paste that in your field, you need to make sure that you parse everything correctly, right? So for quite a long time, we did not support copy pasting, preserving all the tags and formatting. But now we spend some time on this, and we can proudly say that when you copy paste from Google Docs, from Confluence, from Medium, it works great. I mean, a word of advice, if you copy from Microsoft Word, it's not that smooth, but we will smooth it out later. It was not really in our scope this time. But yeah, I think this feature is great for editors. So I know that a lot of our clients are not really tech people. I mean, clients who work directly with the UI. So for them, I hope this will provide a very smooth experience. Of course, let us know if there's something we can fix. We usually fix things pretty quickly. And yeah, from building this copy pasting support feature, we kind of jumped to this converter from HTML to rich text because GraphCMS rich text, we have our own format that has to be supported when you import existing HTML. And I know that also a lot of clients need this. If they have pre-existing HTML, I mean, it would definitely not make sense to copy paste everything by hand, even though now they can. But it's much better to have a converter thing. And so we published basically the code that we used internally. We printed it up, combed through it, and put it on GitHub, published it on NPM. And now if you need to import something, not using the UI though, then you can use that. And by using this converter internally, we can definitely say that it will be working, because if it doesn't, we can't really say that our website works, right? So yeah, we're using it internally. We guarantee support for it. So yeah, use it too. And I'm also very excited to hear from our customers when they use it and their feedback. It's a great feeling, to get that kind of sense of accomplishment, I would say. Yeah, but internally we use Slate. It's a very nifty library, and they provide great support for rich text. And basically, our rich text format, the AST, it's built on their format. And I mean, if you face any trouble, I guess you can also jump on our Slack and always get help there. But it's pretty straightforward, I would say, and it's also covered with like types. We use TypeScript internally, so make sure to use that. I'm a huge TypeScript supporter now, now that I'm kind of comfortable with it. Yeah, so those are like the two big features, I would say. And apart from that, we also added small additions like soft break support, then full screen mode is also very handy, because I realized that when you edit a big document and you're kind of confined by the usual field, it's not great. So please use full screen mode now. We also added styling for code blocks. And yeah, some other styling improvements like adding more space between paragraphs, making sure you see kind of the end product as you would imagine it. That's how I would describe it. So yeah, it's been pretty great, and yeah, I hope everybody enjoys it. Let us know.
This is awesome, Larissa. I know already that we've heard from people how much they appreciate the rich text improvements because, you know, as y'all being developers, you don't necessarily have to use all of these all the time anymore. And so if you, even these little changes help improve the experience so much. And so I know people are really excited about it. And so awesome work, everyone.
That's great to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Amazing. Okay, Scott, what have you been up to and what's new with kind of dev advocate stuff?
Alrighty, so not a great deal from me this month, which we're going to talk about on this stream, but Jamie and Joao have been really busy on the documentation side of it. There's just been like a reorganization of how everything is structured on there. It looks a lot more in line with the sort of GraphCMS theme as well. And Jamie and Joao have been really putting a load of work into this here. So he's just done a lot more work in grouping together, like we've got here, the API reference, the user guides, a bit more on UI extensions and the quick starts. So yeah, I was going through it this morning, and it's really good. I don't think it's open source yet, but I think it will be soon. So if anyone has anything they want to add to it, they can do that eventually, I think. So I know Joao was watching. Hey, Joao. And also Horatio and Venkata in the chat. Hi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, this is really exciting, I have to say. Like the docs look amazing, and being able to just access all the quick starts and information about UI extensions, a great new feature. It's so great just to have that all in one place rather than having to click around on the website or all of that kind of stuff. It just makes it okay. If I need something, if I'm a developer, I know, come to the docs. It's all right here. There's no more searching through to find stuff.
It's all nicely grouped together for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it also looks great. I love it. It's so clean.
Yes.
So, yes. It says exactly what you need. You go straight there. Great. I love it.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks great. So awesome work, everyone, on that.
Yeah, and see down there in the developer tools, we have the rich text renderer, which I think is connected to what Larissa talked about before. And someone asked in the chat actually if we are using ASTs within Slate, and I can give a really brief answer, or you want to go ahead?
No, you go.
Yeah, so I think we always used ASTs, which is basically the object describing how our rich text is saved internally, and we basically from the get-go when we built the basically GraphCMS you now know, we use that as interacting format, because in long time ago we actually just used raw HTML, but with this it's really, really hard to save the information that the system itself needs to kind of keep it consistent across saves. And we always had a problem that stuff changed when you like loaded in the same HTML again and saved it changed itself. So that is a decision that actually was made a long time ago, is to save it as AST and to basically use this object now to represent it internally. But now what this new tool allows us to do is you have some existing HTML from some other system. Let's say you are coming from some previous website where you actually just had raw HTML. You can now just import that HTML and you will get out the AST. So you don't need to write that transformation yourself before. And it has support for all the plugins we use to represent the things that are GraphCMS specific in Slate AST, because it's really extensible. But to match what we use internally, that's why we created this new tool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Amazing. Yeah, so like Jonas mentioned, here you can find all of the stuff about the management SDK and the rich text renderer, and we'll be adding search to the docs very, very soon. So it'll be a little bit easier if you're looking for something specific. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize everything. You'll be able to just search for it pretty soon. All right, Scott. What else is new?
So the project starters we've got in GraphCMS now. So when you first open up, you can start a new project in GraphCMS. You can either have a blank one like we've got here, or you can choose one of the stars we've got. So for the blog and e-commerce shop and the marketing website, these have all been revamped with there's a live demo you can see, and there's also like a GitHub repo for the actual code, which is used for the demo. So this is just a really good way to get you up and running really quickly with using the product. And there's loads of features in each one of them, and like we've got this nice little like stack over in the side here, which tells you what we're using: Next.js, Tailwind, and Stripe. And I think that'll be the same for the marketing website. And the blog uses Gatsby.
Yeah. Amazing. No, these are really cool, especially if you think about, you just want to give GraphCMS a try and you want to get something up and running quickly. You don't want to have to deal with all of the building of the front end. You just want to see how it works, what it's like to work with the API a little bit. This is a great option for that.
Yeah, it's really good. And everything's just built out for you straight away, so you can just get in there and start. You can choose to, when you start up a new project, you can choose to have it pre-populated as well, so you're not sort of adding your own content into it. It's just there, so you can just see stuff happening as it would if it was in use. So they're really handy.
Yeah, and it's really powerful if you just want to like get going and then take it into the direction that you kind of want, right? You can just start off with what we have provided. I don't know, find the one that is closest to what you want to do. Maybe you want to do a blog, but maybe it's more of a personal website. You start with the blog and see how it is structured. You already have some code to get going, have everything, all the wiring set up. That's what I love about this, because this is usually where you waste so much time wiring things together and like getting it going. Once you have everything end-to-end set up and it's working, then it becomes the fun part of development, right? You can iterate and change your data model, you change your code and see how it adapts. And with that, you get hopefully much faster to this by using a starter and then appropriate repository to start the code.
Yeah, having the pre-populated content's really handy as well. Just so you can, I think, just getting a good feel for like the API playground and how to get the information out of that. That's always good to have that already there. Just to, and especially when you're sort of demoing something, you can just say, look, this is it. So like what you were saying, Jonas, is just that rather than, adding content to it, you can just go straight to the part where you're actually working with it, which is really handy.
Yeah, and it's really nice if you're starting to maybe like want to swap out the front end, right? Maybe you start with the front end, but maybe you want to change the styles a bit and you already have some pre-populated content. You have something to see and actually like show on the screen, and you don't need to like provide some mock data or something because it's already there in the API. And then later, if you are ready to use it, you just delete the content and start with your own content.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is really cool. I'm excited to see as these grow, and if we add some more use cases in the future, that'd also be really cool. So as always, let us know if you have any things that you really want to see.
I think there might be some being added to that in the future. Possibly. Quite possibly, yeah.
Awesome.
All right, cool. So
we made a couple of changes to the onboarding experience, right? As well, Scott?
Yes, Jamie's been busy recording videos again for getting started with GraphCMS. This is in the How to GraphCMS playlist. We've had it for quite a while now, but I understand that there's been some more stuff added to it. And now with onboarding, we've got a tool which will just prompt you with a video for the certain area of GraphCMS you're in, to give you more sort of information around that sort of area of the site you're in, just so you can get a bit more understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
So I know Jamie's been busy with these. So yeah, they're all really good. I've watched some of them, and they're great quality.
Yeah, they're great.
Very jealous of Jamie's production quality there.
Jamie's worked hard to perfect that, though. That was a big project for him for a long time.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, no, these videos are super helpful. And just so you know, they're only for new users right now. So if you already know how to work with the UI and everything like that, don't worry. You won't get a bunch of pop-ups with a bunch of things you already know. Right now, we just have it set for new users. And once you've seen the video and you feel like you've mastered it, once you close it out, it won't come up again. So we're trying to really make sure it's just for the people who it might be helpful to, and not being annoying for other people who kind of already know what they're working on.
And there's also the playlist as well. If you can just go back and there was there a link? So I know there's a link on the blog post here, but is there not a quick access link to it, just so you can go to each of the individual videos?
I believe there is. There definitely is in the new documentation. If you come up right here,
yep.
Watch the How to GraphCMS videos. You can find the whole playlist here. So it's a good place. Again, if you're a developer and you have some questions, always the documentation would be the best place to go for all of that.
Documentation, then Slack.
Yeah.
We're all on the Slack channel.
True. Okay, so
I think that's it for me. Yeah, over to you, Emily, I think. What have you been up to?
Yeah. So I've been working on a bunch of content this month. A lot of it has been Jamstack focused, specifically on how to add dynamic content to Jamstack sites, and kind of the intricacies that go along with that. And one of the coolest things that I did all this stuff, so I think it's all cool, but my favorite is actually this tools to expand user experience with Jamstack. And here I break down 28 different tools, depending on the use case, what you're trying to do with the different types of dynamic content, and different tools that you can use for adding this kind of feature to your Jamstack site. So I think it's really helpful. I'm hoping that it's a good place for people to go if they're either new to Jamstack or just want someone who's gone through all of the information and all of the different options already, to kind of go and be a resource for that. It's been one thing I've been working on.
This looks like a great Twitter thread.
Oh, it is coming. The Twitter is coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have all of the well-known options as well as some kind of newer options as well for various different ways for different types of content. So
nice.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so now let's maybe talk about a little bit of what our community has been up to. We've had a really busy month for our community as well. As always, if you want us to share a little bit about what kind of projects you've been working on, then we're happy to do that. Just give us a little message with the project you're working on. But so first thing is that Lee Halliday created this great walkthrough tutorial of building a using static paths to help build a memory site. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott, maybe you know a little bit more about this. I know you work with Lee on this.
Yeah, it's just using Next.js to have to use two different types of data access with Next.js. So Lee is very, bullish on Next.js. He does everything in Next.js. So he is a wealth of knowledge on it. And when he saw GraphCMS, he was super keen on it. And he decided to implement these. I think it's two different parts. There's like comments, and then there's memories, and then he just goes about fetching the data in two different ways, which is really handy if you want to know how to do that sort of thing with Next.js. So really good video, and really appreciate Lee working with us on that. So thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Lee. And Scott, also we're mentioning Catalan's work. Maybe you want to give a little highlight on that as well.
Oh yeah, Caitlin. So Caitlin Pitt, he made a Nuxt.js voting app. So I think this, it's a favorite tech courses, and this is a great walkthrough for like start to finish on just getting your content model set up, all of the sort of different validations you can use on it, and it's a real sort of I mean, you can see the size of the post there. Look at that scroll bar in the corner. It's just massive.
Yeah,
So he walks you through everything. So he walks you through getting set up with the content model, accessing the data, and just building the whole thing out from start to finish. So great work there from Caitlin on that.
Yeah, these are both really cool examples, and I mean, huge tutorials, and a great way for people to again just see some kind of creative use cases, and not just a normal marketing website, but really thinking about what else you can do with GraphCMS. So
yeah, I'm quite keen to have a play with this myself, because I haven't done a great deal in Next, and it's quite good, I hear.
Yeah, amazing. And another community entry is Kelly. So Kelly was working on creating a new portfolio, and so she used one of the GraphCMS starters to create.
Oh, is that a dark mode? I see.
She does have a dark mode.
There you go, Venkata.
And she was working with Next.js and Vercel as well, so it looks really great. So awesome work, Kelly.
Nice.
And I can see. Is it? Okay. The next one I also believe is another, this is an MVP for Raphael's blog. And so more to come, but he was working with Next.js and Chakra UI, which is super cool. So awesome. The final one, just gonna make sure I didn't miss anybody's. Yeah, exactly. It's from Achraf. He was building a demo Mercedes kind of design site, so it's super cool. You can have a look at all of the different types of Mercedes. And he was working with Figma and Blender, and what were they doing?
Do you know what he's using for the animation on that? Is it?
I believe it's Blender animations, but I'll reach out to you and let you know for sure, or you can reach out to him.
That's sweet.
It looks really, really cool.
I've not seen this before. This is really nice, yeah.
Yeah, really slick. So great work on that. And as always, like, these are so cool for us to see what people are actually building with GraphCMS. We work so hard to build the product and do everything around the company, but it's awesome to see what people actually do with all of the hard work that we put in. So super, super cool.
Yeah. So it's great to see that there are also so many people who are willing to share it and like to have it here on this stream. Looks great, amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I agree. And as always, reach out to us if you want to share your project that you're working on, because this is so cool to be able to share and see everybody. So definitely, if you feel like it, if you're up for it, then share it, and we'll also share it in our newsletter as well. And finally, last but not least, as always, we are hosting GraphQL Conf on September 29th. And so if you haven't gotten your ticket yet and you're interested in GraphQL, it's free, it's online, you just register here. It'll be a lineup of speakers that we'll be introducing soon. And so GraphQLconf.org, make sure just to go ahead and sign up, register. It's free. Have you guys all gotten your tickets yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got one of the really low numbers there.
Oh, do you remember your number?
No, I don't actually. But it's in the 10th. It's something like 15 or something.
Nice.
I got number 10.
Oh.
Yeah.
But when I bragged about it online, I just got, you work there, so
Yeah.
so you got to get a low number.
Right.
Yeah.
But all numbers are welcome.
Yes.
Also the high numbers. So,
Also the high.
but just make sure to sign up.
Yeah. It's quite high at the moment. Do you know what the number is at the moment? Or?
I actually don't. We'll have to check on that. But it's always exciting to see the numbers go up. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining our product update call. I mean, it was so awesome to have some new faces on here as well and hear about what you guys in particular have been working on. So thanks for joining us. Larissa and Jonas and Scott. This was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, and see you guys next month.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.